Hi everyone and happy Tuesday. This is your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, June 11th, 2019. And since we didn't do a three-card or a pick-a-card reading yesterday, I figured we'd do one today. We have our usual decks, our vice versa tarot, our tarot of the Orishas, and our Faeries oracle. So if you're new to the channel, basically just pick one of those three decks. You just kind of whatever your heart tells you, deck 1, deck 2, deck 3. The timestamps will be in the description, I hope. And then I will just pull one card or more, depending on how it feels, from each deck. And yeah, we'll go from there and see what your messages are. So get yourself in the zone where you're ready for the reading. And we're going to start with the Vice Versa Tarot. So with the Vice Versa Tarot, we have Aventurine, which is one of my favorite kind of stones. It's a really happy stone. It's a great stone for feeling motivated. It's a really good stone for connecting with your heart. It's a good stone for connecting with your creative energy. So if you're like trying to boost some creative energy or get new ideas, this is a great stone to hold on to. It can also kind of just re-energize you or vitalize you. So if you're feeling a little bit exhausted or you're having a hard day or that you know you're going to have a hard day ahead of you, you might want to take this stone with you, okay? I generally, as some of you have heard, call this my friendship stone, because usually if I think I'm going to be making new friends or hanging out with people that I need to have a very friendly, communicative, kind vibe with, then I will carry this stone with me along with the blue lace agate for added communication. But this is my friendship stone. So let's see what the Vice Versa Tarot has for you today. As usual, if you are new to the channel, I'm going to read my intuitive instincts from the cards, but because these three decks are really fairly new to me, I will be also using the books that come with them. So let's see what message you have today. For whoever this reading is meant for this day, Tuesday, June 11th, 2019, for whoever this reading is meant to guide, whatever message they're meant to receive, if they have chosen you, this deck, Vice Versa Tarot, then please send us a message from their higher self to mine, through me and through these cards. What is it that they need to know or hear on this day, Tuesday, June 11th, 2019? Please and thank you. Okay, so you have the Hierophant, and then right after that, you have the World. And so the way I pull cards means that they kind of flip midair, which is why I definitely like these cards. But today you have the Hierophant and the World, and they're both facing forward, or on this side, where on the other side, it's their back. So then we have 21 and 5. Cool. So I think the message here is it's twofold, because with the Hierophant, he basically says you could just be, you might need to be very discerning about whoever you're getting information from. Like if you're seeking out a spiritual teacher, you're seeking out a mentor, a guide of some sort, just really take their advice, but don't. You know how, like, if you have a teacher and you really love your teacher and they're a really good teacher, and then you see them outside of school and they're, like, doing some crappy stuff, or they're, like, being jerks to people, or they're just getting, like, crazy drunk, and you're just like, that's not the teacher, that's not the person I thought you were, and then you kind of feel disappointed. This, I think, is telling you to be aware of that kind of situation, because I feel like when you're searching for information, you're looking for someone to guide you. It's really easy to put our mentors and our teachers in that position of almost like godlike beings. They're infallible. They can't do anything wrong. And that's not a healthy viewpoint towards your teacher. So you have to see them as a person, and you have to take their advice and their knowledge and their guidance separately than from who they are. And there's limits to that too, because like if you're taking advice from someone who is doing the exact opposite and is a horrible person, or maybe they're a nice person but they're doing everything against what they're telling you to do, then be aware of that. But I feel like in this case it's more like you just kind of see that they have this human aspect, or this aspect that is not so high and mighty as you have thought. And that's okay, because the information they're giving to you, based on this world card, I think the information they're giving to you is good. It's just you have to separate that from the person, because you may find something comes out about that person that you don't necessarily like, and you might have the tendency to just dismiss them entirely and dismiss everything they've ever taught you, and that is not going to serve you at all. So just really be careful of seeing that separation, seeing that the person and the message or the teaching that they're giving you can be separated. In this case, it isn't always the case, and quite often I think the person has a lot to do with the message, whether or not it's a good message. But I feel like in this case, you need to really take that information, use that information, but don't fall into hero worship. Don't fall into that energy of like needing to just be told what to do and told how to live and told, how to think. Okay, I think you really need to learn to think for yourself here. I think there is a lot of balance coming for you. There's a lot of beauty. I love this world card. This is the first time I think I've ever pulled this card from this deck in a reading, but I see it all the time every time I'm shuffling. It's so beautiful. And I think, it's just a very joyful energy. So whatever information you are getting, whatever knowledge you are getting today, take that and let that help you grow. Let that help you find your own peace. Let that help you find your balance and your joy and your comfort and all the things that you need, so that you are just kind of you're whole. Let yourself receive the information so that you can paint a whole picture for yourself, so that you can know very clearly, I think, what you need to listen to and what you need to dismiss. And I don't think there's going to be any negative energy there. Like you have this teacher, you have this mentor, and you don't have to tell them like, oh, I'm not going to take all that information. You can just smile and nod and then go home and say, okay, well, I'm going to do this in my way, and then I'm going to take some of that information from what my teacher told me and make it work this way that suits me. And that's going to help you be a little bit, I think, more fulfilled and more feeling more whole, more comforted. So let's see what the book has to say about the Hierophant and the world. We'll start with the Hierophant. When you get this side in a reading, sometimes a call towards spirituality can be satisfied through religion, which offers a path that has been trodden by many people before you. The precepts of religion can be learned without the need for analysis or inner searching. If you are drawn to such a path or already upon it, consider how you'd feel if you questioned some of those precepts. Can you see the true face of the people whose authority you accept? Right. So again, if you're taking, especially, and I did have a kind of religion idea, especially because of the imagery on the back. It's very pagan, and then the front, it's very, I guess, not exactly Christian, but kind of in that realm. So I feel like there's this idea that like the religion on the face or the image that you see on the front is not exactly where all the information came from. And even though this image on the front can be kind of deceiving, the good information is still there. The stuff that you need to know is still back there, but you do have to look deeper. You do have to question things, and again, decide what you're really going to take seriously or take deeply, and what you're going to have to move away from. So let's see what it says about the world. When you get this side in a reading, the key concept for the world is completion. It is the last card in the major arcana. The four divine beings are brought together to witness that a cycle has reached its conclusion. The dancer evokes the joy of the yogini from the death card, and her pose evokes the spiritual surrender of the hanged man. Life has triumphed, the soul is renewed. Take a victory lap and get ready to start the next cycle. Yeah, so I do think like spiritually you're doing the thing you need to do, but I think just from what I felt when I first pulled the cards, this might have to do with a mentor or a teacher or someone who's guiding you on your spiritual path or on any path, and you having to have the wherewithal to decide what works, what doesn't, what you're going to trust, how you're going to trust them, and to not allow yourself to give too much to this other person. Instead, you need to let yourself be more complete. Like I said, like find that wholeness within yourself by questioning things, by trying to discern what's fact and what is opinion and all those things. Okay, so that is your reading with the Vice Versa Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. If you are going, have a beautiful day, and if you're sticking around, you can either click a timestamp or just hang out for the next one. We are moving on to the Tarot of the Orishas. Gonna have some water. Okay, so let's move on to the Tarot of the Orishas. With the Tarot of the Orishas, we have this clear crystal quartz. Can you see that? It's very clear. So quartz is a great general all-around stone. You can use it for just about anything you need it for. It's a great stone for enhancing any kind of energy that you're looking to enhance. This can be used in spell work. It can be used to, if you charge it for confidence, you can use it for that. You can pretty much use it for anything you want to, and it will enhance that. So if you carry this and another stone, it will also enhance that stone's energy as well. It's also a good stone for focusing your energy. So when people are starting out meditation, this is a really clear quartz is a really good stone to start out with, just by kind of holding it and observing it for as long as possible. You can do this out loud. You can do this in your head. Observe it. Really point out things like, you know, I see striations inside. There is a chip right on top. It's not really a circle. It's more of like a weird rounded rhombus shape. Like, just observe it in general, and then as you go on, it'll get deeper and deeper, and you'll find that your focus is just really improved. Okay, so let's see what the Tarot of the Orishas have for you. For whoever has chosen this deck on this day, Tuesday, June 11, 2019, which just jumped. We already had a jumper, but I am going to put it back in the deck just because I'm not sure if that was my Butterfingers or not. But if it comes out again, then, you know, we'll know. So, for whoever this reading is meant for this day, Tuesday, June 11th, 2019, whoever's chosen this deck, from my ancestors, from our ancestors, what is the message you wish to deliver to whoever has chosen this deck? Please and thank you. Oh, interesting. So you have the Sun. The Sun. So this is a very positive card. I think this is just basically saying, you know, like your energy is really up today. You're probably feeling kind of positive, kind of light, or you're hoping for things, like you're optimistic. You're like, things can get better even if they're not easy today. You're just feeling very optimistic and positive about the future. Yeah, I feel like your soul's ignited today for whatever reason, whether you're feeling creative, whether you've met someone that, like, you know, gives you that little bit of a spark, whether, you know, you're just excited about something that is upcoming. I think you're just like kind of in this really positive kind of joyful zone today. Yeah, I think like, so I feel because we have the Ankh here, like your life energy is really imbalanced today. Like you're really grounded, you're really where you need to be, and you're positive about just the outcome of things. Even if it's not great at this moment, there's something telling you, and you're just sure. You're just like, yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna get better. We're fine. I'm not stressing out. It's gonna be okay. Let's ride bikes. Let's go swimming. Let's enjoy our day and not worry about whatever it is that's going on. So I feel like that's your energy today. Let's see what the book has to say about the Sun. Oh, look, it opened right up to it. Today's my lucky day, you guys. The Vice Versa Tarot deck also did that, where it just opened up to those pages. When you receive this card, it represents success in your professional, marital, or extramarital love life, or in any event or situation that you're going through. Since the Sun is the creator, he affords us creative power for art and science. It represents twins, duplicity and duplication of factors. The double, it represents fortune. Be aware of any delays or complications that may cause uncertainty and doubts. Be aware of possible breakups and work problems, maybe some growth problems or gland issues or hormonal issues. If you're dealing with that, consult your physician. You may suffer from a lack of vitality. That second upside down reading, I did not feel at all. I feel like this is entirely positive. I feel like this is just good things are on the horizon for you. You know it. Like you're ready, you're optimistic, you're feeling good, you know that good things are coming, and you're just kind of waiting. So that is your reading for Tuesday, Tuesday, June 11, 2019 with the Tarot of the Orishas. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to see the next one, stick around. So let's move on to the Fairies Oracle. With the Fairies Oracle, we have Smoky Quartz, which is a wonderful grounding stone. It's also a really good stone for repelling negativity. So any kind of like dark energies or just harsh people or whatever, this is a great stone to carry around if you're going into that kind of a situation. And if you're dealing with like negative energies like depression, anger, irritability, sadness, like with depression, I feel this could help, but so could therapy and a lot of other things. So this is just really, I think this is more for repelling negative energy from your general vicinity. And especially because this one is so tiny, it's not going to repel a lot. So size does matter in this case. But I think yeah, like it's just really good. It can maybe help it stabilize your mood, help stabilize your emotions. If that's something you're dealing with, it can help you clear up anything that's unclear to you. Like if you feel someone's being dishonest, you can do a truth spell or truth working and use one of these to help with that situation. So this is a really good stone. I think today I'm feeling it's more of a repelling negativity grounding stone, but it's almost as versatile, if not exactly as versatile as the clear quartz. So let's see what the fairies have to say for you today. For this day, Tuesday, June 11, 2019, from the fairies, what is the message you have to deliver to those who have come for it, to those who have chosen this deck and have chosen your message? What do you have to share with us? What do they need to know for this day, Tuesday, June 11, 2019, from these beings that we call Fae? Please and thank you. You have the Maiden. Oh, okay. I kind of, I didn't intend to pull more than one card, but they just kind of needed to be pulled, I guess. So you have the Maiden, which is this young, like, adorable, like, toddler-like fairy. And so I feel like, to me, it represents new beginnings. I feel like it represents some sort of new joy, new start. I think it definitely represents change because the next thing I pulled was death. So the next card I pulled was death, which is basically is saying there's change coming. Something's ending and it's making a way for a new beginning, followed by luminous doom, which essentially is saying get it together, okay? So he's basically saying, listen, you are suffering something, or you will be suffering something if you don't get your crap together. I think this is a new beginning for you. You have to change something, or you're just not going to be happy. Whatever that is. Let's see if I can suss out something. Okay, so we have here 14, 53, 56. 14 comes down to 5. 53 goes to 8. 56 is 11. Okay. Rewind. 5, 5, 5, 3, 6. I think that's what I'm feeling here. I'm not feeling that these are combined, but this one is. So basically it's telling me you have to change what's going on in your home, and you have to change the way you're approaching your work. You have to change the way you're approaching your and when I say work, I don't necessarily mean your job. I just mean the work that you're doing in your life, whatever it is that gets you out of bed, that fulfills you, that makes you feel like you have a purpose. And if you haven't figured that out, then that's what needs to happen. You need to take some time to figure out what that purpose is, because there is a huge metamorphosis. These fives are telling me that change is coming. This is telling me that change is coming. This is telling me that there is something starting anew for you, whether you're letting something in the past go, whether you're just trying to find the light within yourself. You've been maybe dealing with it, maybe you have been dealing with depression, maybe you have been dealing with something dark and sad, and just or just stress, just general stress. Maybe it's not as bad as depression. Maybe it's just something that's been weighing you down, and you're really trying to figure out how to get out of that state. And I think this is telling you to connect to your inner light, connect to your inner child, and those things that, again, inspire you to get up every day, that make you feel like you have a purpose. And if you're having trouble connecting with that inner child or finding that purpose, then I think you need to take some time to really reassess your life and really reassess why you haven't found your purpose, or why you're struggling with knowing who you are and knowing what it is that you need to do. Okay, so let's see what the book has to say about these three cards. We'll start with the Maiden. Look at that. Literally, like, this has been, it just keeps doing this. So this is the Maiden's page, and the keywords for the Maiden, actually on this page, are auspicious beginnings, birth, grow, joy, and hope. The Maiden signifies new beginnings and growth. You couldn't ask for a more auspicious card than this if you are beginning something new. Spontaneity, joy, growth, exhilaration, and promise for the future are signified here. We must note also that in early stages of any process, there is vulnerability and a need for protection, shelter, and guidance, but there is also a magical impetus towards burgeoning growth. Trust the process, but take care of the details as well. The Maiden is also the inner child who needs to be under the supervision of a competent inner adult in order for her to feel secure and loved. She is not happy when we spoil her. Consider what is growing in your life. Make a list of your hopes, dreams, and plans. Look for the growth within you, and think about how you can cherish and nurture that. Bless the growth you see around you. Okay, so that's basically what I said. Like, really take some time to look for whatever it is that's inspiring you and creating this passion in your life, that's getting you to a place where you're feeling like you're on a path, or like you have a purpose. And, if you don't have that, if you don't know what that is, again, like I said, take some time to figure that out. Write it down, plan, all that stuff. The next card is Death, which represents natural or timely endings, a release, or a liberation, freedom. Something has reached a natural ending, and there is substantial and irrevocable change in the works. This change may be inner or outer, or most likely both. It's timely and natural, but you may have some resistance to it. Leaves fall every autumn. In the spring, the trees are green again with new leaves. So make room for the new in your life, and let the old go, lovingly, gently, and willingly. Be aware of blocking your change by clinging to old habits or things, and be aware of blocking changes that need to happen but appear to be difficult and forced upon you. Release your outgrown and outworn ways of being in order to move into the next stage of development. Meditate on breathing in truth and breathing out untruths. Meditating on breathing in truth and breathing out untruths may not be helpful. No, may be helpful. You don't have to know what something is or even look at it. You just need to let go of the energy of untruth. Look to the future, however unknown or frightening it is, instead of trying to carry the past with you. It might seem difficult, but the only way to reduce the pain of this process is to step forward into the future willingly. Yep. That's what I said. You got to make this change. It may not be easy, but you got to do it. You're dealing with gloom and doom who represents self-defeat, self-pity, self-destruction, and taking care of yourself. It's time to face the fact that our attitudes and beliefs about ourselves are our own. We may have learned them from others, but the others are not responsible for them in the here and now. We are. If we choose self-pity and pessimism, we make a choice that makes our lives worse. When this card appears in a reading, it indicates that this is a time when understanding that concept is especially important. A time when there is some sort of a crunch in the situation that offers someone the opportunity to notice and change such self-destructive habits. If it's you, you know what to do. If it's someone else, you may wish to consider how you might support them in this opportunity for change. Can you make sure to give positive feedback at every appropriate opportunity? Can you refrain from nagging, scolding, or complaining at them when they get it wrong? These things will help. Be careful of being sunk in self-pity. There's very little anyone can do to change your attitude. There's very little you can do to change someone else's. And that usually only encourages them to resist you either way, which makes things worse. So be careful when you're making plans or decisions to either help other people or do what you got to do for your own life. I'm obviously paraphrasing. Yeah, I feel like this is you, though. I feel like this is more about you needing to be able to change, needing to open yourself up to change, needing to accept that the way you've been approaching your life it's kind of just you. You know, you've been making these choices, and it's time for you to change the way you are approaching things, the way you're approaching your process, the way you're approaching life in general, the way you're approaching the things you're pursuing, okay? So really work on that. Be aware that that change is going to come whether you do anything about it or not. So you might as well be prepared. Thank you so much for being here. Check out in about maybe an hour or so, and I will have your June reading up for you. Thank you again. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember always that I love you. Bye.